Hello, this is Mrs. Scott, and I want to go over these chapter 1 notes with you. It goes over operators, variable names, and comments. And this is for Python, which is the programming language we're learning. And then I'll show you how to get started on a Python assignment. This is just a short assignment that goes along with what we're talking about here. So we have talked about the different operators that we use in Python when we're doing math. And here you can see what those are. Of course, for plus and minus, to add and subtract, we use plus and minus sign. To multiply, you have to use the star rather than an X. And to divide, you have to use the slash. We've practiced those in class, and so you probably were here for that. Floor division, we don't use a lot, but when you see two forward slashes together as an operator, then the number that's returned is the number that would come before the decimal. So the decimal place, anything after the decimal place is just cut off. So in this case, 10 divided by 3 would give you 3 point something, something, something. And this would just return 3 using floor division. Okay, we have power. So when we're trying to do an exponent, if we want to do 2 to the power of 3 or 2 cubed, then we would write it like this, 2 star star 3. And when we do modulus, we use the percent sign as our operator, and it basically is a division problem. If you can remember back to elementary school when you learned to divide and you had a remainder, modulus returns the remainder. So the answer to this modulus problem, 8 mod 3 is how we would say that, would be 2. Because if you did 8 divided by 3 back in elementary school, you would get 2 remainder 2. Because 3 would go in 2 times evenly and have a remainder of 2. So it's just the remainder when you're using modulus. And we'll have some practice problems with those in a few minutes. Okay, whenever you are working in Python, you can't use multiplication by juxtaposition like you can in math. So in math, we would have x equals 5y, like you see here. And 5y would mean that 5 is multiplied by y. That works in our brains because you've done it in math so many times. But it does not work in Python. You have to put the multiplier in there, which in our case is just a star for Python. And then the same thing here, 5 next to a set of parentheses would mean you're going to multiply whatever's in parentheses by 5 after that part of the math problem is finished, but we'd have to put a star in there to denote multiplication in Python. So there are a couple more examples of floor division for you and modulus. So remember, floor division just cuts off anything after the decimal and just returns the whole number value, the int. And modulus returns only the remainder. It doesn't matter what the first part of that division problem is, it only cares about the remainder. So 10 mod 3, since the remainder of 10 divided by 3 would be 1, 10 mod 3 is 1. 29 mod 5 is 4. Because if we did 29 divided by 5, it would be 5 remainder 4. So modulus just returns the 4. Just the remainder. So when you write programs, or write equations in your Python programs, the spacing between the parts doesn't matter. So if you want to put a space before an equal sign and after an equal sign, or a space between the number and a plus sign or the multiplication sign, it's fine, doesn't matter. Python sees all 3 of these lines as the same thing. It reads them all the same. They're all interpreted the same when Python is run. So we're going to talk about some variable names. We use lots of variables when we're writing code. And variable names, there's a specific way to do them. The names that we give for variables, they should be descriptive, so that if you're talking about a score, then you should name it score, or something that describes to you whenever you're working through the code what the variable is going to hold, like what kind of value it's going to hold. If you're talking about an age, you could call it age. If you're finding the average, then your variable name could be average. And maybe you have another, you can have other words in there too. It doesn't just have to be one word. Okay, so when you're writing variable names, the variable names can only contain uppercase letters, lowercase letters, and numbers and underscores. So no funny characters other than the underscore. So uppercase, lowercase, number, and underscore. When you're writing, you should always make your variable names start with lowercase letter in Python. It's just common practice when you're working in Python. And make sure you don't put any spaces in there. Sometimes, especially if you're if you're using a variable name that has more than one word, people will put a space in there because it just makes sense when you're writing. That's how you do that. Python, it has to be all together. There can't be any spaces in it for a variable name. So if you want to use two words, you can use that underscore in order, to show that there would be a space there. So sometimes that's the way people use their underscores in variable names. And make sure that you are careful about your case, because Python is very case sensitive. So these two variables, a equals 2 and a equals 7, we're setting 2 setting 2 as the value for that capital A is holding, and 7 that the value is lowercase a is holding. Those are totally different variables according to Python. So even though we would just call them A, Python would see them as completely different variables because one is uppercase and one is lowercase. And here are some examples. These variable names in the first column are good. They're fine. Notice they only have letters, numbers, or underscores. No weird characters, no spaces. In the second column, these are not good variable names, and we'll go through and talk about why. The top one, first name, has a space in there, and you can't have that. That would cause an error. The next one, it doesn't start with a lowercase letter, and all the variable names have to start with lowercase letters. So this could be DS9, or it could be D9S, but you just can't start it with that number. And then the one here, %correct, has a funny character, and you can't have funny characters. The only character you can have other than letters and numbers would be that underscore. So that's why this one's bad. Over here, in the column where it says legal but not proper, Python would run those, but they're not proper according to Python custom. So your variable name should never start with an uppercase letter. So first name should look like what you see over here. And the X right here is uppercase, which we don't want that either. So we don't do that. This middle one I allow, it's called camel case. So when you have a variable name that's more than one word, just when you come to a new word, you would capitalize just the beginning of that new word so you can read it a little more easily when you're looking through your code. So I don't mind this one personally. A lot of times people use that in other programming languages, so that one doesn't bother me. The ones that start with a capital do bother me. So please make sure all of your variable names start with lowercase letters. Sometimes you will see variables like this one that are in all capital letters. And I know I just told you not to start things with a capital letter, but sometimes we use constants, which are variables that are never going to have a different value. So they're really not, they don't vary, but they're still called variables. But this one's called a constant. So if we have max speed and we know for the whole time our program's running, it's always going to be, 50, then we would set max speed all caps to 50, and we could use that as all caps because it's a constant. Okay, we're going to move on to comments. And comments are very useful. They don't do anything to your code, like they don't have any effect on how the code runs, but they're very helpful to other humans or people that might be reading your code. So comments are ignored by the computer. And you can do two different ways you can do comments. You can do a hashtag, like what you see here. And this particular IDE is turned them green, I guess, wherever I copied that from. So this just lets you put a comment in. So it's common to, at the beginning of your code, to put the name, the programmer will put their name and their date, usually a description of what the program does. And there might be documentation on where you can get the program. If there's a website where they can go and get information or that sort of thing. And sometimes you'll include information about the organization you're working for or where you're turning it in, like if it's a school. But for us in this class, we're just going to do our name and the date in a comment, like on each program we do at the beginning. So anything with a hashtag at the beginning, like you see there, Python will ignore anything on that line, anything after the hashtag. So there are a couple of examples there. And then you can also comment multiple lines of code. So what you see here in green is all a comment. And it starts with the 3 apostrophes here, just the 3 single quotes. And then it ends with the 3 single quotes. So you can tell this print hi is a line that Python would actually read. Python would ignore everything between this set of triple quotes and this set of triple quotes, and those are just 3 single quotes together, and then it would print done. So that is it for chapter 1 notes. I'll stop recording now.